Hi, my name is Rich, and I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome. It's my Sunday afternoon for me group where I and a few of my friends who are here in the United States play with some of our friends in Europe. And so we cross many time zones, and it's all on a Sunday. And that's about all that's true exactly from a time perspective. We are playing in a game called Apocalypse World Burned Over. So, how do you like? Where is this thing? It's a Powered by the Apocalypse RPG from Vincent McGay Baker, and it was released as a zine in 2019, or it was kickstarted as a zine in 2019. What is it's like a hack of their own game, Apocalypse World Second Edition. If you are interested in the game as we play it, the best way to get hold of it is to go to thelumpley.com. There's some links to the playbooks and the moves. It was updated last night, like significantly. Two new playbooks and some other stuff. We will not be bringing those into play, but some of those moves may appear as advancements from folks as they play. There's also some new things for end of session that we're going to try out. But we do have some of our own little tweaks that we are continuing to use. I'll try to highlight those as we play in case you're learning a bit more about Apocalypse World Burned Over. What is the Burned Over hack? It's brand new playbooks. It's the sex moves have been pulled out in case that was a thing that you weren't thrilled about. The curse words are gone as well, at least in the zine. It's kind of a YA fiction version of Apocalypse World, for lack of any better terms. And there's some really interesting mechanical tweaks and changes that have been done to the core system that I like. We are using a hard zone. That is one of the tweaks for Burned Over, where it defines your setting rather than going like we're going to figure it out as we go. There are up to 10 locations and a general kind of theme to the particular hard zone. It's like, what flavor of apocalypse are you interested in? And the flavor we have chosen as a group is to use the hard zone called Carnival of Bullets. Carnival of Bullets is a mix of Cirque du Soleil and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's the elevator pitch that I would give to someone. It's written by Sawyer, who runs Ferretheim Games, and it is pretty neat. Ferretheim Games is an amazing, like lots and lots of cool supplements, mostly for Monster Hearts, but a number of other things. So definitely check that out on drive-through if you can. So, with all of that out of the way, let's briefly talk about safety. We have safety tools such as lines and veils. Line means this is content we're not at all interested in. And if we stumble into it, we are going to cut and break and take it out, edit it out. I try to stay mindful of it. The lines for me are not really things I'm super interested in anyway, meaning I'm happy they're lined. Sexual assault, cannibalism, and gratuitous cruelty presented as entertainment. We have lines on them. We have veils. That means this content is not a thing that we say can't happen, but we don't want to shine a light on it. If it's brought up, we fade to black or we quickly cut scene to move to something else. The veils are on harm to animals, harm to children, and eye injuries. And then the last thing that we have, because we don't have anything in our ask first lines, is 100% enthusiastic consent, which means Rich needs to do a better job of making sure that these are of upfront and present, and I will do so in today's game. Hella circus shit and graphic gore. Riding on top of these safety tools is the X card. For any reason we run into content that you find troubling that you didn't think, hey, I didn't realize we were going to be doing this today, and you're just not here for it, or it's not your brand of fun, or it just strikes you as odd or wrong, please say, hey, I need to X card this, or can I do an X card? We'll stop play. I will not ask you to defend yourself or justify why you've X carded. I may ask, okay, was this the thing that was X carded? And then we take it out. We excise it from our play and we continue on. We got 6 beautiful brains here. I guarantee that anything that is X carded will not be a block to our fun, but it'll be a thing that can help us to strive forward and come up with new and different ideas. So, with all of that out of the way, let's go around the horn and quickly introduce our players and characters. I'm going to start on the right hand side of our character keeper. I'm so lazy. I should do it other ways, but I always like going right to left or left to right. Tyler, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I am playing Ariel, who is our monarch. She is head of an artist collective that some uncharitable people might call a cult. But instead, it is just a like-minded group of people making wonderful things for the glory of Ariel. And she has been kind of, I think that a good example of her would be like she's sort of a patron of her people. She tries to get them out and doing better. And I think she's genuinely shown as a fairly caring person in this dark and horrible world.
I would agree with that. Thank you, Tyler. Sabine, you're up next. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I play whatever the volatile who has a lot of guns. That's basically it.
Okay. Thank you, Sabine. Jen, you're up.
Oh, man. All right, then. I am playing Dex the medic. Dex operates a place called Remedy, where you can get your hair cut. You can get a tooth pulled. You can get patched back up with the smallest stitches that you've ever seen. Dex is not native to this area, but I don't think that's uncommon. But I also think that most non-natives either become performers or move the hell on. Dex has settled in another way.
Thank you, Jen. Jan, you're up.
Hi, my name's Jan. He and pronouns. I'll be playing Screw Loose, the gear cutter. Also he him pronouns. Screw Loose is, well, he's got a bit of Screw Loose, but that's okay. He's really good with machines. He's fond of people, but not always good with them. He's going to be mostly being a mechanic for the races that are coming up.
Indeed. Last but certainly not least, at least for a brief period during our session, we have Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use he, him, and I'm playing Marilyn, the operator, who also uses he, him. He's a kind of wary, self-serving, a bit abrasive, but he has some morals. And he's recently been collecting all the jingle he can so he can enter the electric circuit, the big race, with his cool motorcycle thing.
Indeed. All right, let's hit our beginning of session or time passes moves, because we are jumping from the last session to the beginning of the electric circuit moments before, because there's going to be a brief meeting at Solomon's wager between some characters. Let's hit your ear to the ground.
I just rolled it. Oh, I should have said, I had decided already what the place was, and I didn't say. The Big Top.
Okay, good.
And I did not roll well.
You did not. I see a 4 and a 2, or a 3 and a 1, and then your +2 from your stat, which means that is a fail.
That is.
On a miss, word reaches you that somebody there wants your blood. Ask the MC who.
Who?
You catch word through Fuse, who is the high flyer, one of the high flyers at Big Top, who is still healing up after a severe leg injury. She overheard Nero talking about ragamuffins like Maryland trying to stick their nose into the electric circuit, and that will be a one-time offer. And so Nero seems to be unhappy that you are part of this race, and might be gunning for you.
As in, it should only be for the big players to be putting forward.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Screw this. I don't think you have any sort of session moves. We have Sixth Sense from Dex, so let's roll it.
All right. Day, it's a 9.
Oh, it's a meme. I mean, it's a 9. All right. With a 9, you get to hold 1 anytime during the session. Spend one of your hold to ask me what your sixth sense is telling you. I should answer with a warning, an assurance, a clue, or an insight of some kind.
I'll hold you to it.
All right. Whatever has no start of session moves. And now we move to a few from Ariel. What do you want to do first, devotion or leadership?
I don't think I have to do leadership unless I'm asking him to do something. I have to do 2 devotions.
You're right. 2 for devotion. Sorry about that. Leadership's when you're telling people to do something.
Right.
Our full. Yep. Devotion.
So call first. Oops, that was not the button I wanted to push. Cool first. Oof.
That appears to be a 6 as well. If your followers or if you're okay, all of their demands from your cult, which their demands are just teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, roll that devotion for your gang.
That's a 7. Ooh, the dice roller is not being overkind today.
No, it is not at all. It's no 10s yet. So with the 7 to 9, that means they offer their devotions, but choose one demand. Your guardians have the devotion of battle, of protection, and demands of discipline, which means that your cult demands teaching, your guardians demand discipline. I like it. So let's open up with, I believe we had a couple of folks that wanted to speak to Regent. Regent being one of the movers and shakers in Solomon's Wager. And maybe we're doing this under the auspices of the electric circuit. Like everything is, there are banners going up as Ariel. And do you have Norval with you, or?
I would imagine Norval's keeping an eye. Yeah.
If Norval isn't there, he's going to send someone with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Panache along?
Yes.
Panache, the young girl acrobat. So Norval, Panache are walking alongside whatever, because whatever you had an occasion to speak to Regent as well, right?
Yeah, well, I had to drag Dremmer here to figure out what the thing with the interest was.
The thing with the interest. Okay.
Yeah, Dustwitch came up and told him he had to pay interest to her, and then he was like, "No, I don't. I've paid everything." And apparently that was held by Regent, and I said, "Okay, we'll talk to Regent about this."
That's right. Thank you for the quick reminder. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as Ariel and whatever the two of you come into the scene, I'm imagining, as I think of Solomon's Wager, that it's almost like one long alley is the majority of Solomon's Wager, where the people are, and there are carts of food and people yelling out and haggling with each other. And for some reason, I kind of imagine there's a lot of stucco, because this seems to be a thing that would be easily like replaced and put back. Not a lot of glass, just people having open windows from previous times when their windows maybe were shot out or blown out. But you are heading to see Regent, who has all windows. And I don't think you're going to have any trouble going to see Regent. She has a few of her people there, including Frankie, who peers as you guys come in as if she's expecting to see Marilyn. and perhaps there's just a hint of disappointment when Marilyn isn't along with you.
Whatever, I know that you have somewhat of a tense conversation ahead. I will be most happy to stand by and let you handle that. And do
Look,
know
Ariel. Look, Ariel, I'm just here for Dremmer that he will talk to Regent so that Regent won't send goons after him. But I've got no beef in this. That's their problem. They have to figure this out. The one thing I don't want is having some bounty hunter goons in the marketplace threatening people when I'm being hired to protect the marketplace. That's all.
Your devotion to your jobs is always a marvel to me, and I am here for whatever I can to help you.
I grin at that. Thanks, Ariel. That's yeah, I appreciate that. I won't join your cult though. You know that, right? You know that.
Cult.
Yeah, whatever you call it.
And I'll smile at that.
Nash rattles off. We are a collection of artists and creatives. You're pretty sure she heard that from someone else. But
I've heard that, yeah, it's not at all like a cult when people always say the same phrase to you when you ask them what it's about.
oh yeah, that breaks Panache's heart. She thought she had your back there, Ariel. So
I'll touch her on the shoulder and give her a comforting smile.
Yeah, and whatever, you and Norvell have swapped stories about guns enough to where he doesn't really takes no umbrage whatsoever from you jokingly calling Ariel's artist collective a cult. So the two of you, followed by your two allies, come into the nice, well-appointed room with it's just high leather backed sofa, and there are actual books and a bookcase along the wall and the huge oak desk. It just seems to dominate the room, with Regent on a couple of little pads to make her tall enough to be able to see over the desk, and she has her hands out on the edges of the chair. Ariel, it's good to see you again.
Greetings, Regent. A pleasure to see you as well.
I am so glad you're here because I wanted to inquire if your cabaret would be available during Electric Circuit. I heard through the grapevine that you might be going out to Dusk Harrow, but I assure you it would be much safer and more profitable if your cabaret were to perform here at Solomon's Wager on my jingle.
Well, we would be happy to put on a performance here for you, and but I do have an engagement. I am slated at some undefined moment in Dusk Harrow Way.
Oh, well, I don't mind if you go to Dusk Harrow Way after Electric Circuit. That wouldn't bother me at all.
Well, that would be perfectly acceptable.
Good. I'm here. I don't have to send anyone to find you. Everything's coming up Regent today.
Perhaps even more so. I had the pleasure of seeing your ward, embassy, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Embassy perform at the choosing.
Yes, and he was not chosen.
A travesty.
Indeed, and I understand that Jinx did not even choose your fine ward Panache there.
We did not go in for the choosing this year.
Oh.
We decided that it would perhaps be best for a bit more practice. I have taken her under my wing to personally teach, and that is why I have come to you, Regent. I think that Embassy and Panache would make an amazing double act. Their talents would complement each other in such a way that would be truly undeniable, even to Jinx, who I fear may have a somewhat unpleasant disposition against our performers.
Interesting. What's your angle, Ariel?
In truth, I saw Embassy's talent and was offended that he was not chosen, and I wish to see that rectified, and I wish to see Panache elevated, and I do believe that his talents will make her better. I have no ulterior motives beyond the elevation of my people and yours, as it turns out, in tandem.
What brings you here, whatever? I want to think about that for a moment, Ariel.
Huh? Oh, me. Yeah. I don't. Where's I? Damn. I actually just wanted to accompany Drummer here. It doesn't seem like he's come. Great. Well, okay. So turns out that Dust Witch came up on the. What was the name of that thing? The place. That market.
It was called this. I think we called it the strip mall. Like we just called
Strip
it the
mall,
strip
yeah.
mall.
Yeah, right. It turns out that Dustwitch turned up on the strip mall and threatened Drummer with excessive violence. And when I said, hey, no excessive violence on my watch, got in a little argument there. And then she said Drummer was owing you, and he said he had paid that. And then she said, yeah, but what about interest? And he said, no, he had paid that. And I said, okay, we'll go to you, talk to you about it, and figure out a way that doesn't mean that she gets to take all of Drummer's stuff and ruin him, basically.
Dustwitch did collect from me. She turned over the jingle that was owed, and he owes me nothing more. But Dustwitch likes to collect interest so that her efforts provide fruit.
Yeah, but she said that interest was owed to you, not to her.
Well, Dustwitch does owe me for a few things, so it's really a technicality.
How do we resolve this?
Well,
because I feel if Drummer paid it, then okay. I mean, did he know that he would have to pay interest when he took the loan from you?
I already included my interest in the conversation, and he has repaid me. As far as I'm concerned, Drimmer is free and clear for now.
Okay. Fine. I'll tell him, and I'll tell Dustwitch that she will either figure out what kind of interest is owed there to her, but actually did she collect it from him, right? So she might be owed a thing. Fair enough. And then I'll tell her that she take it up with Drummer and take a little of his stuff, maybe, but not all of it.
Right. Is this a confronting?
I don't know. That feels like you're kind of laying out terms. So,
yeah,
sure, let's have you do it.
I mean, I'm laying out terms to her. She doesn't have anything in this conversation, right? Because she's been paid, and it's not our problem.
She's been paid by Drimmer, but Dustwitch does owe her. So I do think there's a little bit of a stake for Regent, enough for you
and
to lay down.
Dustwitch works for
Regent.
Okay, so what role is that?
Aggro.
Then? Aggro. Oh, cool. I might, yeah.
You're good at this one.
No, yeah, I've always rolled bad with that one. So we'll see. Oh, roll. Still rolling. Roll. Still rolling. So 8. So yeah, I'm good at this.
Nice. So confront someone on a 10+. They have to choose back down, give you your way, defy you, fight back. I'll submit to your mercy on a 7 to 9, which is what you hit. You've left them some wiggle room, and they can try to escape, bargain with you, pass off responsibility, or divert you instead. She says, so I'm clear, you are ensuring that Dust Witch will get interest from Drimmer, which then she pays to me.
How much are we talking about here of interest? Because that's the point, right? In her opinion, it's all of Drimmer's possessions. And in my opinion, that's a bit much. But we really need to figure out how much you want.
I am owed a great deal, but I don't think it would be fair for Drimmer to have to pay all of it. What Drimmer owed me was 3 jingle plus 1 jingle of interest.
Mhm.
He has paid it.
So if he pays 1 jingle to Dust Witch, that would be acceptable to you.
Well, I think that's fair in the market.
Okay, fine. Good, then maybe we can avoid excessive violence and the collateral damage that comes with it. Not that I'm opposed to excessive violence, but I am opposed to collateral damage.
That's why I like when you work in the market. Someone's wager is safer when you're around whatever, which, to be honest, my first impression of you was that would not be the case.
Well, it's not, depends on how you go at me, right? If you treat me and those people I care about fairly, everybody's going to be safe. If you don't, well, excessive violence ensues, might ensue. I've got the right rabbits.
Very professional. High marks.
Well,
Ariel, to return to what your proposal is. I'm amenable to the idea. Are you saying that Embassy would be staying with you for this training? Or would you be coming here to perform the training with him?
It would be far easier if he came to my own performance space. He does not, of course. I would offer him hospitality, and he would be well cared for if he wishes to stay, or if you wish to have him sent for extended lessons, that would also be acceptable. I am perfectly amenable to whichever you choose, but we would love his presence. He seems a charming child.
Yes. For a period of 1 year, he is yours. And then when Jinx does choosing again next year, we'll work out an arrangement.
Wonderful. Regent, it is always a pleasure to have the opportunity to deal with you. Your wisdom far outstrips your years.
Are you trying to charm her?
I am.
Nice. I know you've already got cool marks, but that just felt like a very charming move. So,
All right.
what do you want out of her?
I'm wanting her to trust me and maybe not think over much about having this kid in with my people for a full year underneath my menstruations and how that could turn out. Putting aside skepticism is really what I want.
Yep, totally buy it. Let's see how it goes.
I got a 13.
Okay, that is very effective. And wow, you are quite convincing. She seems pleased as punch. Like this is an altogether good outcome for herself and also for Embassy, who she does seem to care about. Like a lot of this, or being upset, was that her cousin was getting screwed, in her opinion. And she feels like this will be a good way to get back.
And he was.
Yes, guess exactly. Good. So do we jump cut to whatever, talking to Drimmer? Is that a conversation you want to have?
I mean, I would basically tell him the terms I've come to with Regent, and he wasn't there, which, okay, that was, he might have gotten better terms if he had been there, but he wasn't, so.
Nice. Yeah, you come and you find him at the stall. You tell him there could have been better terms. He listens. He's not super happy. And then he kind of limps out from behind, like slides off of the little stool he was sitting on. And he limps a bit and says, "Well, that's what you already collected. I was hoping that it wouldn't go so bad, but I guess she gets what she got. But she won't be coming for any more. So I guess that's good, right? Whatever."
I hope if she comes for any more, I'll take it out on her. Yeah, that's not gonna happen if on my watch. I'm not always here.
Yeah. I heard you're gonna be riding in the electric circuit.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I might not make it, so then you're out of luck. But
Yeah, don't die.
I try.
I'm
Got
just
anything
saying
that?
the odds are 62.2% casualty rate.
Yeah, but that is the basic odds for surviving as a child after your setting has been set on fire. So I guess I'm good at beating the odds. You got anything that would help me even the odds, though? Just your own interest, I mean?
Nice. Are you trying to maybe charm him to give you a little something
Yeah,
to
sure.
survive?
If he has something, sure, I'm trying to charm him. Oh, I should mark aggro.
You should. I'm glad you remember that.
And I'm trying to charm him. I'm doing this with cool.
You are.
I'm astonishingly not totally bad at.
You're not.
You're charming. You got a pretty face. Look at that face.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
it's
Who
true.
doesn't? Who doesn't? Who doesn't
Whatever,
want to give
doesn't
you
look
what
much
you
better.
want?
It's a 9. So, yeah.
Awesome. On a 9 from Charm or Deceive, same as before. He looks at you for a little bit. He says, "I've got a little something. I don't keep it here, but I'll get it to you at the circuit. If you don't need it, you just give it back to me. No fuss, no muss. If you've got to use it, it cost me a couple jingle a while back. Maybe you slide me a jingle back for it when you get a chance."
Let me offer you this if I win. If we win, might be more than a little than one jingle it for you, because I
Oh.
think I'm getting a percentage, I guess.
Oh. Well,
If I don't win, well, then we all lose. Fair?
yeah, that's more than fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thanks, whatever.
Sure.
So, players remind me that Drimmer will be delivering something to whatever at the electric circuit. I will possibly remember it myself, but I just wanted to say it out loud. Sweet. That takes care of all of our lead up. Don't forget to mark cool, whatever. An XP for that. That should get you an improvement, which goes all the way through. That's your first advance. Congratulations. So, we've been at it for a bit. You guys want to take a quick break and then we pick right into electric circuit? Awesome. So when we kick the scene back in, we hear the roaring of engines and the sound of thrash metal being played by Big Top's house band. And it's like a camera shot pulls back and all of Big Top's copious amount of stands have kind of been moved out from the tents of Big Top, because they certainly don't want a bunch of vehicles to like slide through the very expensive canvas. So they moved all of the stands out, and it's very much the grandstands are here. We see the road for the Big Top, and there's this booth where Nero sits with a few of his dignitaries. We do a quick cut down to find that Maryland, you're in your motorcycle, whatever. You've got your little catbird seat right by the wheel, so you're kind of underneath, like you can look up or look up as it may be. I don't know if you want to be on the left or the right hand side of the vehicle, but you can look up and see Maryland. Maryland's there to race. We also see some other vehicles. Among them is the wicked-looking slate gray charger that Grim, the undisputed circuit champion, drives. We see the sleek, bullet-looking, older model car that Lazarus is currently sitting in and idling. We see the large, light-covered bus, like a school bus that's been painted white and covered with thousands upon thousands of just bright white Christmas lights, and then a plexiglass frame on top of that in hopes that the lights, at least some of them, will survive this. There's music playing from the bus itself, like low, like synth wave kind of music. And we see behind the wheel of the bus is Min Min, who is actually from Angor's Magical Wasteland. Min Min wears a big Minnie Mouse helmet / like, if you've ever seen Dead Mouse, imagine if you just went full Minnie Mouse, pink ears, with a big ear hole like driven in with a brad on it, earrings and the like. And then Sixpence, who's from Dusk Harrow Way, is from Halcyon Bureau. Sixpence is in a sleek electric vehicle that looks kind of like a DeLorean. Even has the gull-wing doors. I just want to say the word gull-wing doors because it always tickles me. And a number of other red-shirted wearing vehicles that have come in that we can kill for effect. I take all my cues from Star Trek, so they're all wearing red shirts or vests of some kind. And all of the vehicles are roaring to life, and there's a great deal of excitement. And whatever. So Dremer comes up to you as just before you climb up the ladder to get onto your little catbird seat.
I think, as soon as Dremer's approaches, I was like, hey, what are you doing?
It's
you
no,
touch my vehicle.
He's holding like this something in a cloth. And...
Open the bag.
Marilyn, calm down, buddy. That's a friend of mine, I guess.
What's he doing?
Hi, I'm a friend. No foe.
I asked him to.
She's got lots of guns,
Yeah, he knows that. Yeah,
that's not a euphemism.
Yeah, I've shown them. So what you got for me?
He pulls off the cloth, and he does it like openly for Marilyn to be able to see as well. And what you see is this rusty Folgers can with a handle that's been like bolted onto it so you can hold it. And he holds it up, and Folgers is like a coffee can, right? So it's like a coffee can type thing. And you see that there is basically a C4 bomb.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Few hundred nails and screws and other things in there. And he hands it up to you, and he says, if you need it to go, the connectors are in and everything. You just need to push this toggle up.
Yeah, no, this works. Thank you.
Oh, okay. And he hands it up to you.
Yeah, and I look at it and like Dremer, I could if I did something like that, would kiss you now.
You don't do something like that?
No, I don't. Look, Marilyn, look, we've got a thermal detonator. I mean, it's not the real name, but someone called it that, and I kind of like the name. And it.
Cool.
We can throw it at other cars, and they probably won't go on.
Less
we need
competition.
To.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, it's not for us. Don't push that. If I fall off, don't push that toggle.
Yeah, I'm not touching your stuff.
That's probably a good idea. And I've already taken out the harness for the flamethrower.
Well, I think the viewer would see that I'd like crudely got like a spray can and just done like some spiral swirls on the tire, so like to create like a on either side. And I think if Screwless is okay with this, I would have hired him to fit like some sort of like railing that goes from one seat around underneath where I'm seating to the other seat, so somebody could very precariously switch sides.
That totally makes sense.
While moving.
He's going to be very upset about the swirls.
And so
it did take him some convincing about the pom-poms on the handlebars as well, but he got over it.
It adds more speed. As you guys are getting ready, climbing on board, ready to go, some of the, makeup covered crew from the Big Top come in with these like very heavy duty magnets, kind of like magnets strong enough to throw onto a car. Perhaps these were like cut off of pizza delivery toppers from eons ago, and there's jingle that's chained into it, and they start kind of slapping it onto different points of your vehicle, on the bus, on the charger, the electric vehicle, all of them. And then the music.
Nobody puts one of these on my blade thrower. I'll tell you.
No, they're putting them on the vehicle, not on you
Good.
guys as people.
Yeah,
They wouldn't touch your
yeah.
blade thrower
I'm
because they're
just-
terrified of it.
Good.
I think I'm like from my seat, I'm actually like standing up to get some height and like look. I'm kind of looking around at the other racers, and I'm trying to take in the competition.
Ooh, do you want to?
I do.
Are you looking to? Yeah, look at you. I love it. You called it in chat. You are XP horse. Let's have your
I
roll
think I'm
plus
reading
sharp.
a situation.
Yeah, read that sitch.
Yeah. Oops, press the wrong button. There we go. Well, good news.
Good news is you still get to mark that XP.
Yeah.
And as it says, on a miss, I may have you ask one anyway, but be prepared for the worst. Yeah, I'll go ahead and have you ask one anyway, but be prepared for the worst.
Yeah, let's switch to the moves. I think I had an idea of what I was gonna ask. Who or what poses the biggest threat to me?
Oh, yeah. No, you get XP. You get an XP for having rolled the stat. So whether he misses or succeeds, he got to mark the XP. That was my quote unquote good news, is you get to mark a thing. It's basically good news is he would have either way. I was just being a smart aleck. I'm sorry, that was confusing. So who is the biggest thing? The biggest threat is Grim. And when you're looking across, you're up higher, right? You've got this giant wheel, and you look down and you see that Grim and his charger, his gray charger, he's there. He wears the mask. No one's seen him outside of his charger. And that's when you see Frankie walk up, and she like puts her hand on the hood and slides her feet in first. And she looks up at you and she just winks.
I grimace slightly and then kind of lean over the side of my, saddle seat thing down towards whatever. And like, Frankie's joined Grim.
Yeah, do you mind if I shoot her?
I mean, I won't cry over it. If it's us or them.
Okay.
Do what you gotta do. They're gonna be.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna at least try and take us off the road.
Probably. Yeah.
So,
I think I
don't
might
let
try.
them.
No, of course not. Come on. But I think I will open my brain to the maelstrom. Yeah, because Carnelian always said there are instincts, and the maelstrom, not the maelstrom. There are instincts, and there is the psychic harmony of the universe that will tell you things if you know how to listen to it. And I don't really believe that, but this is the big one. So maybe try it. I'm really bad at that, though.
I
But
mean,
Can I ask, does she, whatever, do you actually take something for that? Or is it like you
yeah.
just...
How do you open your brain to the maelstrom? That's a great question.
how do I open? No.
I need to know if I should be
don't
frightened that she's just taking a
I don't-
massive amount of drugs before we
No,
drive.
I'm just putting on my glasses. I'm a bit farsighted, so I need the glasses to read. And I put on my glasses and I take out a very battered looking book, handwritten. And these are some meditations that Carnelian wrote down when he was saner, I guess, but not really, And then I'll read through that and try to, I don't know, open my mind to it, to the words. I mean, opening my mind to the words is pretty easy. And then these are crazy words. These are bad words, but still, I'll try.
Here's the mind killer.
Yeah, fear is the mind killer, exactly. Let's see how mind killer-y I go. I probably very much, but, That's a 7. It's a 7. Look at that.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
So on a 7 to 10 plus, I have to give you at least one good concrete detail. On a 7 to 9, I can stick to impressions and suggestions.
Yes.
Good. So I have to tell you something new and interesting about the current situation. I might ask you a question or two. You answer them frankly. And I can stick to impressions and suggestions. Good. So here is what you see. Whatever you glance across the several rows of vehicles ready to go, you get an image, a flash of Sixpence in his sleek, silvery electric car, and you see it explode in a conflagration, large enough of an explosion that if you were right beside it, it would take you with it.
Okay.
You see all of the lights of Min Min's bus, the Electric Light Parade, which is what she has named her bus. And the lights grow brighter and brighter, and you see all of these silhouettes of people in the back of the bus, skulked down and hiding. And you glance over at Grim and Frankie, and you see Frankie is loading, guns. So you see her holding a 50 caliber bullet. She does not carry a 50 caliber gun, so she must have some use for that. The gun that she has not whipped out into play quite yet.
Okay.
I get to ask you some questions. What scares you the most about this race?
Scares me the most. Kind of afraid of, I'm not that afraid of battle or dying, but I am afraid of getting blown up and losing more body parts. That's what I'm afraid of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And what would it take for you to abandon Marilyn on this race? And if there's nothing, that's fine. You can say that too.
If he betrays me, that would make me abandon him. More than abandon him, actually.
Ooh, more than abandon him. Good to know.
Yeah. If he betrays me, he's me to be wasted.
Just to be clear, like, if I kind of left you to fend for yourself, would that be betrayal?
If if you left me, if I fell off and you left me, well, then I abandon you. Yeah, but that wouldn't probably wouldn't count that as betrayal because you want to win. You have to win the race, and that's fair. But if you pushed me,
that's fair. Okay. The music, the heavy metal music comes and kind of dies down. Simultaneously, we jump over to Solomon's Wager, where Ariel, you and your cabaret, you have a stage that's already set up for you. You can put on whatever show. Like Regent is backing you. She really wants this to go well. Screw Loose, you're there in pit stop. Like, I'm really curious, like, what does your pit stop look like? Do you have anyone alongside you, like anyone from Remedy that's just there in case they need to help folks out, or is it just you with your pit stop?
I imagine that I have someone to help me, like, because you need to usually you need to work both sides of the vehicle, so.
Okay, cool. Do you imagine then that maybe Monk or Lion might be there? Dex, you did say you wanted to have a few people at different spots. Or it could be Dex. Maybe Dex is there for now, but you, of course, Dex have a vehicle of some kind so he can move to the different spots as the race progresses on. So we just say Dex is there with you. Does that sound okay? You okay with that, Jen?
Sure.
Yay! 3 people in the same area. I'm so proud of us.
Another scene.
So good. Mark off. Checkbox. Yay. Sweet. And the music there at Solomon's Wager is not the same style as what's going on in Big Top, but it starts to dim down, and the loudspeakers that have been placed there are lines running all the way back to Big Top. And we, of course, see Ares and Angor's magical wasteland and the sleek place that we've never had a scene in of Neon Blossoms, where they also have loudspeakers or other ways to convey. And Nero addresses the crowd.
Gentle beings, welcome to the electric circuit. Let's quickly go over the rules. We have a number of competitors who have paid to participate in this year's electric circuit. The race will begin here at the Big Top and slide all the way through Neon Blossoms, then Primordial Fields. Swinging down through Solomon's Wager, we will race directly past Big Top again, up into Angor's magical wasteland, only to completely circulate at St. Mortal's Alley. And ladies and germs, we have a brand new part to the electric circus. Before, Halcyon Bureau was left out of the festivities, but this year we've built tunnels that will dip down into the Bureau and allow our racers to partake of the joys of the underworld. Then they rise back up to the surface and finish here at the Big Top. Good luck to everyone. Reminder, the red zones, which are clearly marked, are free-for-all. That is where the audience can participate in boarding parties. They can attempt to strip jingle from any of the vehicle competitors, or perhaps take out a driver to ensure that any wager they may have thrown down at Solomon's Wager is a higher chance of being successful. So again, the red zone, all bets are off for safety, as it were, clearly demarcated. Throughout the race, any and all drivers and other participants in the vehicle can do whatever they wish to other drivers, but only in the red zone can they attack anyone else. Please, drivers, please, passengers, do not attack the audience outside of a red zone. And with that, our rules are completed. Good luck to everyone, and may the best driver win.
and a huge tumult of excited audience members, audiences, all the people in the stand are jumping, screaming. There's streamers, there explosions, cannons go off at Angor's magical wasteland, and then you see fireworks. But it's dusk, so you can see some of the fireworks across the rest of the Carnival of Bullets. There are a number of circus performers here at Big Top. It is the big show. They have pulled out all of the stops, and every performer, saving poor Fuse, who's still injured, is out there, or they are on display in other areas, but primarily focused around Big Top. Nero gestures for Deadeye, and Deadeye has her bow with this flare arrow, and when the arrow is shot into the air, then everyone can take off. And so we tight shot into Grim, face placid, emotionless, covered behind a mask. We zip over to Lazarus with his right eye. You can see just below the leather, or just above the leather of the mask, is this burned and horrific scar. His eyes almost look cataracted. We pop to Min Min as she's bobbing her head to the synthwave music playing in the Electric Light Parade. Sixpence is gripping the handles of his electric car. And then we zoom into Maryland. What is the expression we see on Maryland's face?
I think grim concentration, some sweats.
Nice. Then
and you see him, like, he makes sure that his the light up hair is plugged in, because he doesn't always have it plugged in. So he like plugs in the battery, and the fiber optic cables that can go around his hair light up.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I didn't know that your hair lit up.
Just the little white straps there, like they're actually fiber optic. Yeah.
That's so cool. So cool. There's like a cheering section that gets excited for the shiny hair. And then the arrow is fired. We hear the whistle and the flare streaks across, and all of the cars lurch forward. And you are in the race. So we do have some vehicle moves here. And do you want to try to, first of all, if you want to just remain in the middle of the pack right now, Marilyn, that's not a roll. You just stay in the middle of the pack. If you want to try to outdrive another vehicle, okay, then
we need to get out of
get out of the pack.
The clump. That is a dangerous clump. That's
just certainly a dangerous clump.
From watching previous electric circuits, I think that is when the biggest amount of death and disc golf, and
So you are then going to try to go against whoever else is pushing for the front. And guess what? Grim is not trying to take the lead quite yet. Sixpence, with his little electric car, has zipped ahead, just sleeting across. It's so quiet. As he tries to zip in front. So you're going to need to outdrive another vehicle. So outdriving another vehicle, as you guys are running down this kind of dirt road that leads past and away from the Big Top, you are, of course, following the pathway. So you're headed directly towards Neon Blossoms. Just ahead, you see the red smoke indicating the very first red zone, but this is just you on a dead sprint, getting out of Big Top, trying to take the lead so you can get out of the meat of the pack. Let's give you that outdrive another vehicle. So both vehicles will inflict V harm on each other, but first roll plus aggro, modified by the vehicle's relative speeds. Yes?
Isn't it cool, or has that changed?
I guess it changed. I'm
in the our character keeper, we've got it as cool.
We do, because it used to be cool. Let's just stick with that for now, and I'll reread. So whatever rules are in our character keeper, we'll go with. It looks like there may be an update with that is aggro, but I'm good. So I've got that also up. So both vehicles will inflict V harm on each other, but first roll plus cool, because it doesn't make sense for you to have a super high aggro and be an amazing driver anyway. So I'm not sure if I love aggro. Modified by the vehicle's relative speeds. So the speed of we're calling it a Tesla, but it's not exactly a Tesla. The electric vehicle is a 1, and I believe
I'm a 1,
your
so-
Bold Devil is also a 1. Okay.
Do they cancel each other out then? Is that
They
what it
do
means?
cancel each other
Yeah.
out. There is still the possibility of help if you can tell whatever house you can help, and if she does wish to do that.
I think I like yelling over all the engine sounds. Whatever. Don't let anyone close in on us. I need the space.
And whenever somebody closes in on us, I will put a light sprinkle of bullets there just to dissuade them from coming any closer.
Sounds awesome. Go ahead and roll your HX, whatever, to help out here.
Yeah.
I would yell, thank you, whatever.
The problem is that Marilyn still has the worst HX for me. I'm sorry, but we'll need to.
Oh, I did my roll. I didn't know if I should have waited.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it got better. It got better, but yeah, well. Okay, so I will roll with that. I mean,
I've rolled.
Okay. Yeah, that does.
I've rolled a 10. I'm at a 10. No, I'm at a 9, I guess, because I've got
because you're minus one. Yep. So go ahead and mark the XP for helping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would give you, I don't feel like you would roll for it at the same time. I think you're just giving a +1 to Marilyn, but it doesn't look like that's going to help. Did you roll Snake Eyes?
I did.
You did?
Oh, no.
I did.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I'm a fan of your character, just so we're clear. So you
do what you got to do.
You push it, and you immediately see some smoke come up from the engine, and your motorcycle starts to stall, and you're like falling back in the middle of the pack, and you're in this space where you see the bus is coming up to one side, you see that Lazarus is coming to the other side, and that little Tesla that Sixpence is in is just skimming along and zipping away from you. What do you do, Marilyn?
Whatever, I need 30 seconds.
Wait a minute. Or you choose the most suitable. That's really a pity. Okay.
I just screamed like, whatever, give me 30 seconds, and I duck underneath my seat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So all our compartments things, grabbing the CB radio, I think, at the same time, so I can like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Screwy, need help.
Screwy, I need help. Oh, nice. So
I'll stand in defense.
Okay, that sounds awesome. And in fact, that's a very cool move, because it turns out that the bus, there's a panel at the bottom. You know, if you've seen it like regular travel buses where they have the panel at the bottom that you stuff all the luggage and stuff. It pops open, and you see some people like climbing out of it, and they are going to try to jump across to your motorcycle as you are slowing down. Yeah, it's moving target. So let's see you stand in defense.
Yeah, I'm rolling with hard here.
Is this the first time you rolled hard? Oh, wow. Yeah.
No, it's for this one. Yeah.
In this session, first time. Awesome.
Yeah. Full out though. So I've got an 8.
Okay, on an 8, you get to make a choice. 7 and 9, you get to choose one.
I think I have to choose one. I mean, I could choose to suffer a little harm, but I probably won't. I will. You see what you're defending to safety. That seems the best choice, right? Because I don't need to injure these people. I just need to keep them away. I mean, if I injure them, fine, but.
Sweet. So we see a number of Angor's magical wasteland folks, denizens of this twisted amusement park world. They are dressed in various cosplays. There is a guy who's dressed in a blue coat and tails, wearing what looks like the top half of a candle on his head, who comes out with jumps across onto the wheel, and you end up knocking him off, but not before he hits you with a heavy like meat hook claw. And then there are a few others that clamber across, take shots at you, and so there's a total of 3 harm that is coming your way. You want to stick with the see them to safety choice? I'll allow you, now that you know what's coming your way.
Yeah. I mean, I have armor for
Okay.
2, so yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
then you take a few shots. The armor helps out with a few, but you are going to roll the harm move.
Yeah.
So you roll.
I think while all this kind of chaos is going off, I'm like on the CB radio, kind of, and I'm like ducking down when any gunshots going off. And screw it. Push the engine too hard. We're stalled. I just need quick fix. I need to just get us to the pit stop. Anything.
Well,
Oh.
if you pour some, if you siphon some fuel out and you suck it out, siphon it into the front, then you're probably going to be good for the rest of until you get here.
Cool. So your harm roll is a 4. Oh, that's not great. Okay, so on a miss, the MC chooses 1. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. It's worse than it seemed. Take an additional harm. So I think what we see is that meat hook got into your side, and it was just underneath a piece of your armor, and you're bleeding pretty badly, which means that instead of 1 harm, which is what said got through the armor, you're going to take 2, because the idea of taking you out in the very first row is boring.
Thank you.
I like the idea of you just kind of bleeding for a long time anyway, because you're all heroic. That's all the action movies. That's what they do.
So
Screw loose.
Where do I put the 2 harm? Because
that's a great question.
I have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12.
6. So you're going to go from 0 to 3 to 6.
Okay.
And then mark XP for rolling the harm move. And did you mark for did you already take it? Yeah, you took another improvement, and you just rolled over to improvement, and you're on. Wow, you're XP horrors. Maryland, you're trying to follow Screw Loose's instructions. I'm going to need you to act under fire. It just feels like the best thing to do here. Unfortunately, you've already marked that one. Sorry. So sorry. Okay. But if you feel like Screw Loose is helping you, then I think
feel so.
Feel like it. So, okay. Go ahead and roll your HX there, Screw Loose.
Yes. Let's see. With Maryland, I've got 1.
The dice do not like me today. I mean, I squeaked. I got an 8. So.
It's a 7.
That's not going to push you above, but it feels like I'm interested in seeing, because I can make the choice of how the help can work out. Screw Loose, you're acting through Maryland. I'm going to let you roll the act under fire.
Yeah, I'm doing exactly what you're saying, and I guess you just you've probably got a photographic memory of the whole vehicle, so you can So I'm just following you.
So act under fire. Cool.
I think I've got basically the image you see of me is I've got like the the twirly cord from the CB radio thing just in my mouth, as so I've got both hands free, so I can just hear what you're saying.
Okay, cool.
So if I help myself,
I'm helping him with my hands.
Dex, hold the CB for me. help. No, I'm joking. Cool. So mixed result either way. You guys combining together, you get a mixed result, which on an act under fire means you hesitate, flinch, or stall. I will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an unfortunate choice. Here's the deal. If you're willing to take 1 harm AP, you can keep this thing running through all the way through to Screw Loose.
Yeah, I'll take that. Like, I'm imagining I'm having to touch some hot engine parts.
I think that's the hard choice. Is basically you got to go in, you got to flip a widget and turn some kind of gear. You get burnt a little bit. Maybe you're near a gear. Go ahead and let's see how bad it is. So you're going to mark a harm of 1. So you go to 3 o'clock. I've already done that.
Yeah.
Roll your harm move, which means you're going to roll 2d6 minus harm taken. So 2d6 minus 1. You want to roll high.
Okay.
It's probably one of those situations where it's like Screw is going like, and you did this, and you this, and you this, and oh right, no matter what you do, don't touch that. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, I should have said that before.
-1, you said?
Yes.
Okay. 10.
Nice. Okay.
So
so on 10 plus CMC chooses 1. The harm you take stands as is with no additional effect. You take -1 harm, but I can choose the things. I'm just gonna go. We make the hard choice. You reach in, you get burnt, you get a finger kind of twisted a little bit, but you pull back out and the engine is still going and you can ride near the head of the pack. You're still right by the bus, but whatever is successfully defending you from the electric light parade. So let's jump forward.
By the way, I think over the CB radio you hear lots of swearing, and then you suddenly hear the engine revving up again, and then it's like a little "see you in 30 seconds."
Oh, love it! That's really cool. So we're gonna jump forward to Solomon's wager. Ariel, you know the Screw Loose is very frantically trying to offer some tech support. Dex is there helping folks in preparation for things coming rumbling through. But what does the cabaret look like? What kind of act do we see going on at the cabaret right now?
All right, we see my whole cult there, collective, there with me, performing. And by the way, that's the song we're performing. There we have full lights going with it. It is an intense and very kind of rocky sound as I'm heading into it. We've got a crowd, I imagine, that are jumping and thumping. And since it's Regent, everything, I think we have folks kind of in costume, like they're wearing slinky race suits, or they've got, the overdone looking like the colors of their favorite racer or all that sort of thing. And so it's got that kind of wild rave / Louis the 14th style party going on.
This music is great, and thank you for linking it. That is pretty awesome. Dex, who are you working on at the moment when we come into the scene? So we're clear, the racist and the electric circuit has not come through Solomon's wager yet, but it's easily that you're doing preventative, or perhaps someone got injured getting ready for stuff, anything along those lines.
I think somebody had an accident in one of the early pit checks before the race, and so I'm helping them out. Probably some kind of burn. And also Dex is not wearing her usual white blouse today. She's wearing some kind of utterly skin tight black shirt that actually goes like all the way up to here. And you can see her undershirt through it.
Nice.
But it's this sort of, it looks impermeable.
Oh, do you have some armor?
So the undershirt is actually the armor,
Nice.
but this shirt is my all the blood in the world is going to happen. So it's time to not wear my very stainable white gloves.
Totally makes sense. I like it. Yeah, so as you're taking care of business and helping this person with their burn, you hear a quick yell from folks that are setting up in red zone that a fight has broken out. And you hear some gunfire, Dex. What do you do?
So that's here in the red zone close to Solomon's Wager?
Correct. Yes, just north of Solomon's Wager in the red zone. You know that at the moment that this happens, the race is currently in Neon Blossoms. But evidently some of the gangs who are maybe fighting over territory to have the right place to perch, or maybe it's just old rivalries, but a fight has broken out and you hear gunfire. What do you do?
Has Marilyn's squawking over the CB happened yet?
It's happening right now. Like they're squawking back and forth at each other. You hear that Marilyn is doing his best and maybe he's successful. Then Screwloose is like, oh wait, don't touch your thing to the thing. And you hear a scream from Marilyn. But then he says it's okay.
Who came in to tell me about the fight and the bullets? I mean, I can hear the gunfire, but...
Yeah, I think you just hear the gunfire.
I stay put.
Okay.
I am putting together another burn treatment station next to this patient that I'm almost done with, just in case it takes any particularly long amount of time, or if Marilyn gets here very quickly.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. Sweet. So we double check. Yeah. We'll cut back.
Oh.
Yes.
However, here's where I spend my sixth sense hold.
All right.
So what's my sixth sense telling me?
What your sixth sense is telling you is that the gunfire is in response to a high-powered laser. It's just setting off the signals in your ocular and all of your readouts that someone has some kind of laser weapon that they've just whipped out in the red zone. You are not aware of anyone outside of Neon Blossoms who has a laser. And it's not supposed to be taken out of Neon Blossoms if someone does have such a weapon.
Whew. Yeah, I think I'd probably get on the CB at that point.
Okay, cool. So you come back and Screwloose has got the CB. What do you do, Dex?
Luce, can I borrow the CB radio? I've got to warn Marilyn about something.
Then yes.
Okay. Get on.
Kind of busy right now.
I understand that. Somebody has a high-powered laser in the red zone just before Solomon's Wager on the track.
I don't think, would I know what a laser is?
You're like, and Dex is like, imagine a beam of light that shoots through anything. It's like a bullet, but continuous and worse.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
So keep your eyes open. Be careful out there.
Thanks.
Cool. Then Marilyn, you drive all your way through Neon Blossom. So I'd love it if both Whatever and Marilyn because this is our first foray into Neon Blossoms. And I know that we're also very near end of time for the two of you. So what I'd like to do is just have a quick kind of moment to paint the scene. So Neon Blossoms, what we have for this location: machines and high-tech wonders to delight the senses, shiny screens, sims, and robots. First thing that you see as you guys dip into Neon Blossoms, Marilyn, you're an operator. You've been here before. The large LED screens are displaying your vehicles. There are hovering drone cameras and the like. They're covering this from inch to inch as long as you are in Neon Blossoms. But Marilyn, what is one bit of tech that you see in the zone and along the road? By the way, perfectly paved road, crisp yellow lines, freshly painted, no
Marilyn
bumps
is appreciating
whatsoever.
this, yeah.
It's good. Like, you guys all pick up speed when you hit this. But what's one piece of tech that Marilyn catches a gander at, or a glance that the camera will pull towards because of Marilyn's attention?
I think somebody is operating some sort of, like, I imagine, since we've talked about like there being robots and things in this place, there being some sort of hover vehicle. I mean, it could literally be like, you know, a modern hovercraft thing, but it could be something even cooler, you know, anti-grav type thing. But yeah, there's
Agents
somebody,
of Shield, Blade Runner,
yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah,
Yeah,
but there's somebody is like, you know, they're not driving it around or anything. Maybe they're tinkering on it, but I see that thing and like, ooh.
Nice. I like that.
I actually have to like look back for a second as we pass it, because
and then
like, oh, shake my head, eyes back on the road.
back on focus.
Yeah.
And then what is something that you spot, because you have that wary eye, you know combat, you know where to look for danger. What is something that you spot in Neon Blossoms on this the pathway that you guys are on that gives a hint towards some of the darkness of this area? Why it isn't all just sparkly robots and rainbows here.
Isn't it? Damn, I was sure it was. No, I think what catches whatever's eye is a person. It's unclear what gender that person might have been once, because right now that person has sort of been turned into a transport carrying donkey cyborg. It's clearly it was once a person, but there are more limbs than a usual person has. Like, they have four kind of legs, and they have multiple arms and they are carrying a lot of packages and stuff around, and they don't look very happy while they're doing it.
Nice. That for some reason I have a little bit of China Mieville thoughts going on in my head at that, and I think that's a compliment. I don't know, but yeah, that's what we see as you guys are passing through Neon Blossoms. So both of you we're at time for the two of you, so we'll just cut away from you still racing, because you're headed to Primordial Fields, and that's what we'll open the next session with, is you guys in Primordial Fields. But with our remaining time, we'll deal with a little bit of Solomon's Wager here. I cleverly placed all three of you in the same area. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, have a good time. Don't die, please.
We'll do our
the
best.
Characters, also the players.
Ditto, yes, and ditto.
Same.
Okay, have a nice night.
Yep.
Evening.
Thank y'all. See you next
Thank
week.
you both so much for
See you
playing.
next week or earlier. Bye.
Cool. Awesome. Let's take a quick bio break, since that feels like a good commercial point anyway. And we're back. So yes, we know that the race is headed from Neon Blossoms towards the Primordial Fields, but there are some threats here at Solomon's Wager. Something's going on in the red zone. Dex, you decided not to run out and try to stop that. Probably wise. but
I'm not whatever. I
yeah,
just can't.
Stick your nose in crazy messes like that. Probably not much you could have done about it anyway. So Ariel, you with amazing Cheryl Crow music blazing, everyone performing in the cabaret. What are you most worried about as you look across the crowd that is, of course, given wide berth to the road that will run right past you guys? Um, what are you most worried about from this crowd and your attempts to entertain them?
I think what's most noticeable, and I do have a few things in our little time here I'd like to hit. I have a
Mhm.
flashbacky moment and a couple. I got a few little things, but as I look across the crowd, what is noticeable to the audience is that Norval nor any of his men are there. It's just me and the collective performing, and my worry is this will get out of hand, and in my mind, Norval will be right. He should have stayed.
Ooh. He should have stayed. Oh my. What? Okay. Cool. Good. So we pick up with you guys finishing a number and a few of your performers, including the brand new embassy who's only been with you for a few days. They start peppering you with questions in between. It's like, what should we do? Should we stop while they're coming through? Because nobody's going to pay attention to us anyway. And also, what if they hit the stage? And what do we do? They're demanding teaching, Ariel. They're fearful.
My dears, we will perform while they come through. We will not be frightened of what is to come, because art is our armor. Art will shield us. We shall perform because it shall heighten not only the race, but ourselves. And I'm conveying the teaching of trust me, which, by the way, if it's worth noting, just to have, I also have a song for. So just to put up there, this is what I go into singing to them. But as it is that I have foreseen that this is going to be fine. We have a duty to do. We're here as performers, and the show must go on. Trust in me. It shall be just fine.
This is great. I could just live with the Tyler musical series is awesome, and I'm here for it. Did not know Selena Gomez had sung such a song. It is quite cool. You of course are performing your chosen art. However, you're not just doing it for the children and those who are there at the side of the stage. Like, there are a number of other folks who are lined up along the raceway. So there are quite a few folks who will witness you performing your chosen art. Let's go ahead and have you, and I know you don't get a tick for it, but let's go ahead and have you roll plus cool and see how things come out.
Roly. I got a 10.
Oh, delightful. You're so good at this. So 10, you get 3 you can spend. And by the way, don't forget the first 2 lines on things you can choose. There are 2 options. Those bullets denote different things, and I don't want you to miss it because it's to the right instead of in a straight down, up and down list.
I'm assuming, of course, that Regent is there, since this is her to do. So she must give me a gift. Let's go ahead and someone who I know Regent is trying to impress. I might as well, if I'm being paid to perform, I might as well help her out as well. So someone she wants to impress admires my patron.
Ooh.
And Embassy loves me.
Oh, there you go. You've secured that. Cool. Let me mark Embassy's love for you.
And while we're on me for a second, I think this is when we see Costco coming up. I have converted, I am right now converted one barter to jingle, taking my barter down 1. And I have sent off Costco to bet on Maryland for jingle. I still have 1 jingle left. And Costco showing up in the scene as I'm singing and gives a smile and a thumbs up that the bet has been made.
Oh, that's cool. That is very, very sleek.
Stakes.
Gotta have some skin in the game.
Sweet. So we're going to say, in answer to who is Regent trying to impress, I am going to say that his name is Rourke, and I'll be adding him to Solomon's Wager. Rourke is well connected and beautiful, and you're not sure if Regent is strategically angling to impress Rourke or if she's just smitten by him.
It's not my business. I'm just here to help.
And I've got a picture to throw in for him in case you are so inclined. Cool. So, what is the crazy circus act that is being performed here in Solomon's Wager within sight of Ariel's cabaret decks? What is that lovely circus performer? What are they doing to entertain the crowd alongside, or perhaps in slight competition, gentle competition with Ariel's cabaret?
I think that somebody's doing, hilariously enough, an aerial routine on silks that are hanging from a crane arm.
Ooh.
Like not directly over the road, but very close to it. You know, instead of dangling in that space, it would be, you know, if there's a street light adjacency rather than yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, and maybe the way that they like get up there is, I'm totally biting off Cirque du Soleil, but they've got the seesaw, you know, with the springboard seesaw. So they have one person that just springs them up and they fling up to get into the silks, the way high above. I love that. Ariel.
Maybe they've got one body in the silks and they're doing a catch routine.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is it that Ariel does to get Rourke so that he admires Regent after you tell everyone to trust in you? Like, you've got everyone's attention. Rourke there, he kind of even lowers his sunglasses to look at you with his own naked eye. What is it you do to pass things over to your patron?
I think as I've sang and kind of gotten the collective all worked with it, then I've started to kind of move to the audience, and I think I go up to Regent and in kind of sleeky Ariel dancing Fae-like with her, kind of display her, with the dance in a way so that, as our eyes catch to Rourke, and just highlighting her in the midst of the dance, kind of transferring the words to her as well. Because really, I was wanting to make sure that my people got the gist of me. I could give her audience the rest.
I like it. As all this performing is taking place, Screwloose, you feel like you've gotten as much tech support over to your operator friend as possible, and you glance around, hear Ariel's song, which of course is very, very nice. You see her dancing with Regent, who seems thrilled to be brought up on stage. And then you see someone that you recognize from Neon Blossoms. So how is it the Exasha 12 of Neon Blossoms and you know each other? Do you travel to Neon Blossoms, or have they come to see you?
I travel there because I deal with scroungers there.
That's right.
Because that's in my
Oh, good.
in my scavenging grounds.
We had that from the jump. So you deal direct with the scroungers. We'll say that Exasha 12 is the person who's foreman of the scroungers, director of the scroungers. They will organize where to go, where to recover things, all of that. And Exasha comes over to set up your little pit stop. Screw. Hello.
Oh, hello. You're coming at a bit of an inopportune time. It's a bit busy.
Is it?
He just does this, like.
You may have come upon something of note to someone important to me.
Wait, I come across something. You came across something.
No, you're the one who came across a thing, a flying object.
I still haven't had the time to look at it.
Oh.
Why is it? Why is it of interest?
I'm not at liberty to say, Screw. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you have it then?
Well, yes.
I'm just totally eavesdropping.
But, not on me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to bring my
They
tools
pout slightly and reach up and adjust one of the little jangles that slide down from their weird little
I was
beret.
thinking that, if I can get, I want to get it working again, but then, I want to make others like it, but then different.
Sounds like you're perhaps in your own kind of way trying to charm Exasha 12?
Yes, I suppose. Let's see. It's an 8.
All right. On a scent tonight, if they don't want to go along with you or call you out, they can choose to ask for evidence, time, a compromise. And they reach forward, and even though you normally have pretty greasy hands, right? They take one of your hands, and their hands are very small and delicate and perfectly manicured. And they wear a number of rings, like, imagine they have rings, all white gold kind of stuff across each finger. And they reach out and gently, right, you could pull away, but they reach out to take one of your larger hands in theirs, and they say, "What if, Screw, I help you with this? There's something I need from that drone, and as long as you let me have that, then creating duplicates will be no problem whatsoever."
But how do I know that the part that and what if I need the part to make it work?
I won't be breaking it in any way. I'll just be taking some information from it and erasing that information.
Why do you want to erase it?
Well, someone who is interested in that information wants to keep it private.
Can I have it?
Technically, you do have it.
No, but I mean keep it. And then make sure that no one else.
Their face kind of frown a little and say, "I would really rather that you don't put yourself in danger like that, Screw."
But you want to break it.
There's a camera on it. It recorded something it shouldn't have. I need to erase that information. I would like to get a copy, but that's for my own selfish reasons. But if you have a copy, that would be dangerous. If I don't know you have a copy, it's not dangerous. Do you understand, Screw? I'm sorry I have to speak.
Oh, yes, now I understand.
Ah.
And he's got a big smile like, okay, yeah, no, I get it. I can't tell you. Yeah.
Like Sasha 12's like relaxes. Okay, got through to Screw kind of thing. And you feel their very cool hand. And you actually feel like a little electric charge from those rings. Like they may be electrical and mechanical in some way.
That feels nice.
Thank you. You don't have it with you. When can we go?
I had to bring all the stuff for the race.
Of course. That makes sense. Where is it?
Why don't you come back later after the race?
Ooh, you're like getting in her face. Are you confronting someone?
Yes, I think.
Yes, I think I am.
All right. When you confront, intimidate, threaten, or bluff someone, roll plus aggro. On a 10 plus, they have to choose back down and give you your way, defy you and fight back, or else submit to your mercy and ask you to reconsider.
I think I might even want to help with this one.
Awesome.
Because, yeah, Screw Loose needs to be focusing on the race right now.
Yeah.
So I will roll my HX.
Really? I rolled a 10.
Oh, well.
Did.
I mean, I rolled a 4.
Wow.
Hell.
Awesome. If this were Monster Hearts, Exasha 12 would take a string on you, but I don't have that mechanic. So instead, I think that you will, whenever Exasha 12 is around, when they make their next request of you, you're going to need to act under fire to deny their request.
All right.
Because they're fascinating to you. They are flesh and blood and technology and amiably inclined towards you.
Awesome.
Hard to say no.
Nice, good consequence.
Thanks. But you successfully confront with a 10 plus, and with that move on a confront, that means they have to back down and give you your way, defy you, or submit to your mercy. And you jumped in and said, listen, we got a lot of stuff going on. Maybe some other time is basically the deck statement there. Is that right?
Basically, you need to go because Screw Loose needs to have his head in the repairs game and not in the new technology I want to fiddle with for fun game.
Exasha 12 looks over at you, and those things on their beret just kind of hang down at an angle. And your eyes just flicker for just a moment. And they say, "You're right. Of course you're right. I'm sorry, Dex." Is Dex short? Like, this is the MC asking a question. Is Dex short for anything?
Dex is literally short for dexterous.
Then Exasha 12 will say, "Of course you're right, dexterous." And they let go of Screwloose's hand, and they kind of genuflect a little bit and step back and melt into the crowd.
I'll give them a nod and let them walk away.
And there's a moment where Screw's maybe looking after Exasha 12 before he collects himself. And
I'll definitely put a hand out. just here to stop him from following.
Nice. And that's when, coming from the red smoke in the red zone area, there is a person who's obviously in some kind of shock because they are carrying one of their own cauterized and recently sawed off arms with their other arm. And they are kind of walking, staggering towards the crowd, and a bunch of people screaming, "Get out of the way," because that's a pretty horrific sight. Dex, what do you do?
It's go time. I walk through the crowd directly towards them and get their attention.
Screw will definitely call after the person and going like, "If you want a new one, come look me up."
Their face.
I'm not even presenting anything as you could do this. It's you are coming over here now. Follow me. Sit down here. Lie down this way. Look up here. Flash a light in their eyes.
Yeah, and they're in shock. They keep repeating, "It fell off. Can you just stick it back on? It just fell off. There was a bright light and it fell off. You could just stick it back on. Can you stick it back on?"
Just relax. Deep breaths. I elevate his feet as soon as he's laid down.
Okay.
And I will give him something to tranquilize him.
Okay. I think if you want to make field medic roll here, that would probably be appropriate, and it allows you to roll sharp, which unfortunately you've already rolled, but still, it's
Can't
one
get
of
them
the
all.
things.
All right, got an 11.
Nice. On a 10 plus, they recover 1 harm as well. On any hit, you stabilize them. Their injuries won't get worse. You can safely move them. Awesome. That's fantastic. That is the best possible result. So you get them elevated, and yeah.
Like, most important is treating the shock right now. But once I've got
blanket
that
on them, make sure their body temperature stays stable, all that good stuff. Luckily, you can just probably that is a completely cauterized wound. You don't have to worry about blood, but blood loss is a problem, but because whole arm. But yeah, you are able to stabilize them and heal 1 harm. They may need Screwloose's services later, but that's future. That's for future person with arm lasered off. But yeah,
Dex, I don't
that
have
arm
the
was
facilities.
lasered off. You know that in a heartbeat. Somebody lasered that damn thing off.
But now they can have a claw.
Or a tentacle, or whatever they want.
Every door that closes, a window opens. Ariel, you have successfully pointed Rourke towards Regent. Regent is just soaking it in. She is very impressed by your service, your partnership, your allyship, all of the ships. What else? You've placed a large wager, and you know that she knows, and seems totally cool with it. That's not a risk in any way that I'm listing out for you. I'm just saying. You said that you had a few other things. What else do you want to do?
I think as we have this dance going on and we have the kind of joy of that, I'd like that maybe flashback to Norval and I before the race gets started.
Okay, I like it.
We're setting up as Norval.
Yeah.
I have something that I need for you to do. You and all of the devoted that guard our collective.
The thing we should do is guard you, right?
There are different ways to guard the collective, ways to make sure that our best interests are looked out for. I need for you to take all of your men and set up at the kill zone at St. Mortal's Alley. You are to take down anyone who seems to be defeating Maryland.
Has Regent guaranteed your safety?
I am here as an employee of sorts, as hired talent. I would trust Regent will keep things calm, and all of the collective will be here with me. I should be fine.
Hired talent. So this is the MC saying, you're going to need to roll leadership.
Yep. And I ain't great at that one.
And he's learned, don't defy Ariel to her face.
So I'll be rolling with hard on this.
You shall. And unfortunately, that's already marked for you.
It is. And it's -1. I'm just rolling it. Oh, but I got a 9.
Ooh, nice. Okay, on leadership, on any hit, they do it.
They don't get a +1 forward, but he ain't gonna
They
be
do
too
it.
much lip.
Nope, he says. He audaciously reaches out to gently take your shoulders in his hands, and he says, I'll do this. Please ask Regent to confirm that you are under her protection. If I lose you, I lose everything, Ariel.
I will do as you ask. And I'll reach up and touch his cheek. And I will not leave you. I will be with you always.
Thank you. And then he turns and he'll do a quick kind of fingers to the and whistle and does a circle up, and the gang that offers all of your people a bit of protection will leave. And they're probably like Costco knows what's up, I imagine, since he's in on the bed. But there might be a few other members of your cabaret who are a little like, okay, we trust Ariel, but boy, this is a weird thing that's happening.
This may even be kind of what incites the need for them later on to come to me and
Get
me
some
have
teaching.
to reassure them. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. That flashback just folds right into the narrative that already took place before it. Wonderful. Masterful. Good. So, Dex, you've successfully secured this person who took a wound You see on them that there's some kind of scavenger. Like this was a guy who was out in red zone knowing what he was up for, thinking he could grab some jingle for whatever reason, bit off more than he could chew and would have choked on it if it hadn't been for your help. And you take care of him, and then there's a woman who comes over and says, there's more out in red zone. There's a
How many?
I saw 4 moving. There's a lot of smoke too, the red smoke. They tried to hide when the whatever happened. It was like somebody. I've seen lights at the big top. I've seen it, but I never seen anything like that.
All right. Well, what do you call the things that carry the person?
Oh, like a stretcher, gurney?
Yes, auto stretcher. Over there, 2 auto stretchers. I'm going to handle one. You're going to handle the other. Let's go get some people.
So you just recruited this woman who like came in to tell you what's going on? You're trying to recruit her to help? Ooh, that's
if she's got the nerve to come here and tell me about this, she's got the nerve to come and help me collect people.
Oh man, that's cool. I think you gotta like you're ordering her, but I don't think it's through force, right? I think you're just trying to use your personal magnet. Like this is a thing you must do. You're not confronting her. You're just being cool about this, right? So let's see if you charm her, if she's gonna pawn this off or if she steps to.
Sure. B11, call me Dr. Rollgood.
Nice. She steps to, no hesitation whatsoever. She reaches down and takes the stretcher, and she's has no problems carrying it with you. And you head off. Screwless, you just saw Dex is in the process of, you overheard, right? If Dex can eavesdrop on your conversations, then the opposite is true. So you heard
Fair's
Dex
fair.
is taken off to head out to Red Zone for some people that have been lasered.
I think Screw will just be like, I guess I'll hold down the fort. And
Please do. Send a runner to Ariel's people. Tell them that we could use a couple of bodies and that there's lasers in play. Don't use the word laser. They don't know what it means. Terrible burning weapon.
Lasers?
we cut to this like moment of like, tell them there's lasers in play.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
Screw Loose is just lasers. Sorry, just my TV show version of that is I'm doing that. Yeah, so
Sparkles, Dreamweaver plays.
let's make a
Yeah, there's like one of those laser shows that's in his head, like, and then like he'll probably like be completely silent for a few seconds and go like, right,
I'm gone.
I'll go tell Ariel.
Dex is already carrying off the stretchers and you answer her retreat.
Like, oh right, okay, well.
Sweet. So Ariel, you've sent Panache and Embassy up. They're doing their first like duo performance, and it's like a little bit of acrobat with some music going on. You can tell that Embassy is a little intimidated by the people up on the silks and the like all their extra accoutrement, but they're performing okay. Panache is bringing, as you suspected, bringing more out of Embassy than he would by himself. When Screw Loose, you see that Ariel's paying full attention to her cabaret as you come up. What do you do, Screw Loose?
I think Screwloose is deferent enough to Ariel that he approaches very carefully and like sort of makes himself a bit smaller and like, excuse me, Miss Ariel.
I turn to you and you get that impression that I think is the most striking that most people do. When I look to you, you have my complete attention. as Screw Loose. Ah, it is so good to see you. I should have expected you were here plying your trade.
Well, yes, but there's yes. I am. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for noticing. Hi. So well. So Dex is going out with some people because there's lasers, and she needs some help. And she was asking if you have some people to spare.
Going out for the lasers to dance in them. We have a routine where we use lasers and dance within them, and it is quite striking.
No. Better lasers, or worse. Depends on who you ask.
Oh, what is she doing? Were people injured?
Yes, someone lost an arm.
Oh dear. And I'll motion over towards kind of the, it's a bunch of artists, but maybe a couple that look like they could lift a stretcher or two. No poets in this group. So please, and Dex is out helping the injured, and we should help as well. Will you please go? Please go do whatever you can, but be safe. I will be with you.
Nice. Well, just even though you said no poets, since we haven't seen them on screen, I'd love if Sereno is one of the folks that will head out.
He's kind of a badass for a poet.
I mean, yeah, he's a disaster slam poet. So yeah,
He's painted like a clown, but he kind of looks like he could kick somebody's ass.
Yeah,
I agree. You don't wear that kind of top out and not have the ability to take some stuff.
Yeah, no Shelleys, but we'll send off.
Awesome. So they'll huff it off, following after Dex. Dex, when you come to this point of Solomon's wager, the northern strip, and again, red zone like overlaps a piece of Solomon's wager. You know that just shy of where the red zone begins, there are people that have like binoculars, and there's one person who's got like a periscope, and they're watching all of this. And as you start to head, one of them will look over and say, "You don't want to go in there." He calls after you.
Are they still firing?
There's nobody to fire at. And another one will say, "But we've got we'll lay odds on you if you want to make yourself a target." There's a couple of rough chuckles. And one guy slaps the other like, "Dude, that's Dex."
What'll you wager?
A jingle says you don't make it back.
Make it a jingle in your periscope.
Damn it. Yeah, I got it. The wager's been made.
Enjoy the show, kids.
And that's when Sereno and a few others make their way up to you to help out. And you have this woman that we need to name. So, Jan, what is the name of the woman who came to tell Dex about the carnage that's gone on? The names list is in column N.
Yes, I was looking at that exactly.
You're already there. I love it.
Yes, I'm really bad with just going with names like that.
I am too. That's
why you have these kinds of lists. Ooh, Bacardi.
Bacardi. Oh, that's a great name. Thank you. Cool. So Bacardi is the woman who came to inform you of what's going on and is braving heading out there because you're the first one out, Dex, heading into this. And it's...
I do take a moment to, before we cross in, because I've got people with me and I'm carrying equipment, to take stock of the situation. Is the red zone really empty of people?
No.
Yeah.
I'll give you that free of charge. If you want to read a sitch, though, roll to get some more information.
I sure do, and I sure will. Come on, Betty. Nope. All right, then. I failed.
Wow.
I got a 5.
Awesome. So you see someone that you recognize. They are called Clarion. This is what Clarion looks like. And Clarion has a cigar in one hand and
He's a customer.
holding on in his left hand is a laser rifle. And yeah, he's evidently cleared the red zone. There are no current standing opponents for anything. So he's from Neon Blossoms. What is the last thing that you said to Clarion the last time that you two saw each other?
I warned him that some of his cybernetics ran the risk of giving him blood poisoning if he didn't get them properly looked at.
Oof, that's perfect. That's really great. I love that. And you know he's aware of you and yours coming out here. Because he looks right over at you. What do you do?
I hold up a hand. I also hold back a hand to Bacardi and Ariel's people, signaling for them to wait. And I'll continue to approach once I'm in, calling out distance. If I'm not, threatened or fired upon, I'll start conversating.
You should stand back, Dex.
Clarion, I'm just here to collect some fallen.
Well, they'll stay fallen whether you're there or not. Cauterized all the wounds. The dead are dead, the living will stay that way at least for a bit.
Many of these people are going to fall into shock. That can kill somebody in about 10 minutes. Treating someone for shock.
Sit on this red zone.
It still looks secure to me. Look, I didn't bring in any weapons except for this little kitten here. And I'll leave it on the edge if you let me through.
That sounds like a real good setup for a charm or a deceive. Unfortunately, you're already rolled it, but it's the right move at this time, unless you've got to move otherwise, which I don't think you do.
Nope.
All right.
A 9.
A 9. So on a 9, they can either go, if they don't want to go along with you, call you out, they can choose to ask for evidence, time, compromise, or concrete assurance.
I'll take the periscope.
Oh, you heard that.
Of course I did. I've secured this damn area.
Fair enough. We'll be in and out before you can say boo.
Just so you know, any of yours draw, they die.
I'm sure they know how to read the room. You heard the man.
Serrano is like muttering.
The sooner we're in, the sooner we're out.
Serrano's muttering a poem he's working on about this particular occasion in the red zone. He's probably going to call it Red Zone. And you head out. I would like to see you act under fire here. You haven't read the situation. That would have given you a lay of the land of who to hit first. Acting under fire will give you the leg up to save the ones that are savable.
Okay. Another 9.
Okay, another 9. Cool. You pick out a few of the folks. You see there are a couple that like were lasered in half, but there are a few others who either lost limbs or one of them actually someone else fell on top of them, and you make your way over with stretchers, and you feel relatively good that you've picked up the ones who could probably be saved first with a pair of stretchers that you have. There's always that sneaking suspicion that you may have missed something. There's a lot of like red smoke over this area. This part of Solomon's Wager it's not in the best shape. Like there's broken up asphalt. There's a ditch off in one place. It's obvious that there were folks who were here with a lot of weapons. And you notice that one of Ariel's people spies a really nice silver-plated revolver, and they like drop their sleeve over it, and they're trying to like scoop it up.
I'm
not gonna aim it at him, but
do not touch it. You do not know the peril that you're in.
I think you're confronting her.
All right. Just a little peril for the road.
It'll be fine. I'm fine with a little peril.
Oh, 6.
Nice. She nods like, yeah, okay. Pulls her hand back. You get back to work because you got people to save. You can't just nurse these folks around. And that's when you hear the laser, the fire off, and you glance over to see her falling. What do? There's that bright flash of red.
Honestly, I run over immediately.
Okay. She's dying. She lost the hand, but then it sliced halfway into her torso as well, because it was just a quick sweep snapshot. It wasn't just I'm going to fire. It was more like a searing laser that he just slapped across. Let's give me that field medic and let's see
what I can do. An 8.
Okay. On an 8, any hit you stabilize them. The injuries won't get worse. So the member of Ariel's troop who was a little too greedy for their own good is stable, but now you've got a person who was supposed to help you carry folks off who needs to be carried off.
Yeah, I sigh. I get her into a fireman carry. I start walking out. Somebody else can push the next auto stretcher.
Sweet. Lost hand to Clarion's laser rifle. And her name is Jeanette. And
I collect Jeanette's hand as well.
Nice. There's a ring, Ariel, that you gave her once. When you get a chance, tell us what it looks like. Yeah, so you grab Jeanette, fireman carry her, grab her hand, cauterized, throw it in a pocket or something. I don't know. You guys quickly rush.
I have like a biohazard pouch.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you guys head back from the red zone, and you can bring these 2-3 now folks back into the area. And yeah, Ariel, you see Sereno and through the other folks that you'd sent over, and you've recognized Jeanette over Dex's shoulder.
I will run there to see how she is. If we have time, I'd love a minute or two of Screw Loose and I too.
Let's cut back
Sure.
to that. Let's cut back to that. Maybe we end with you going out to Jeanette, but we'll like pull back for that last actual scene.
So where are we?
Where you were?
You are talking to Screw Loose before Dex comes back in that
Gotcha.
pocket of time. Right.
Okay.
We cut in post-production, we like move it where Dex and Jeanette don't come
All
back.
right. So as they're being sent off, I'll look, Screw Loose, I have some time and the racers will be coming in soon. Can I accompany you and watch you work when the
Really?
racers come through?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you.
I am very optimistic that Maryland is going to come out victorious.
Marilyn has to come in for some work.
Well, he has all the possible advantages. Whatever, standing there in defense and your own brilliant workmanship.
Well, she's a good girl, but someone must have broken her, and now she needs some help.
I have this sort of moment where I'm going, whatever, and then I think, oh no, you're talking about the machine. Oh well,
Yes.
then I would love to see your. The truth is, what you do mystifies me. Your talents are so much greater than anyone else I've ever seen working on machines.
You don't see a lot of people working on machines?
You underestimate yourself. You are very talented.
He's blushing like crazy. I just that they make sense.
Please, and I'll offer my arm. Let me see your workspace.
Oh yes, I'm like super excited. so, like, well, normally I have someone on the other side as well, but then, so this is where we then can work on the wheels, and then wheel in case of my but so all this is for the fuel lines, and he's pointing everything out and super
And
excited.
I'm absorbing it. You can guess that I'm not capable of the technical knowledge you're doing, but I very clearly am interested in like the overarch of that you can do it and how you work. And I'm also kind of, I'll go, and all of these others will be working on similar machines, the other racers, pointing at other pit crews.
Oh, yeah.
I see. I'd like to give a look over at all the other pit crews to see what's up with them. Yes?
The ones over there, they don't have a lot of like wrenches, so if they have a few less, then you want to make sure that that they can't fix theirs. Then
so part of it is also a competition here within the pit crews.
Obviously,
I see a team
fighting
effort.
doesn't just happen out there.
I always approve of teamwork.
But you have to make sure that there's something good happening that keeps their attention going. But I think you're really good at that. Like, you always keep my attention. Oh wait, that's a good point. I should. Okay, no one is trying to steal my stuff.
So yeah, I would like to maybe do a look around to
Okay, you
see
wanna read
these
a
other pit
sitch?
crews? Yeah.
That
Go
will
for it.
help.
Oh, thank
Nice.
you. All right. So reading a sitch for me.
My HX with arrow is there, but still.
Oh.
I went ahead and marked your XP for the help.
That's a 2.
It's 2. Boy, you are a crap helper today.
Well, I mean, it's also.
I got an 8.
Aha. Aha. Sweet. Let's go ahead and ask your question.
So yeah, I am looking around. There it is. Who or what poses the biggest threat to me? And by that, I mean Maryland winning and me losing money.
Pachenko here among the pit crews. She's got Dustwitch and her gang watching over her. And she's also the best darn mechanic in the game. She works with Grim, who is the defending champion.
Okay. I'll point out to Screw Loose. It would seem that they are very well.
Oh yeah, Pachenko is awesome.
Perhaps some of our greatest competition.
Yeah.
I see.
Cool, huh?
Well, I can imagine that they just waiting like this must be bored.
I mean, it's not gonna be a long wait. And we can see the aerials from over here. Look there. See? That's your people.
I see. Perhaps I can give them some entertainment in between time.
Oh yeah. They would appreciate that.
And so I'll wander over in that general direction. And
I think Screws is sort of following along like
I would, I suppose, like to sing some encouragement for them.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. Checking time. Do we want to cliffhanger it and pick up with that, or do we want to do that roll and then do into session?
I've got time.
roll.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
All right. Then rolling with cool. I have that one already programmed. That's a 7.
Okay. On a 7 with artful and gracious, right? That's what you're going for. If you sing for them, you spend 1. Name an NPC member of your audience and choose 1.
I'm also in the audience.
That's true.
I
Just
won't,
putting it out there.
Yeah, I won't try and do something terrible to you, though. I'm going to try and give them a distraction here for this going on. So with the idea that next time around we're supposed to be having them coming into this spot. This is our next. Well, they have the ways or the outside they have to get through. Then they'll be coming to us. Okay, I'm going to imprint. There's one of that crew. I've listened to Screw Loose, and normally he said he would have someone who would go to the other side, who works on the other side of things. Well, obviously, their lead mechanic would be far too hard for me to try and work with to help Maryland. But that other one, as I'm singing, the one that would kind of the second of the mechanics, I will be catching their attention. And I'm going to set up, they will be, let's see, what's it say there? Yes, the person must meet me.
So you're setting up a thing where they're gonna kind of blow off their station to come meet you.
Yes.
I like that. Cool. So let's give them a name. And this is someone who works for Pachenko.
What Echo?
Oh yeah, Echo sounds good. I'd like. Yeah, I like the name, but there was an NPC named Echo in an old play by Post who I have fond feelings for. So I must purge that thought. Echo is a completely different character. It's all good. Cool. Echo must meet you, and we will pick up with Echo blowing off Pachenko to go meet you. That sounds great. Awesome. So with that, we'll bring the session to a close. And I know we're sans two people, so we'll catch up via chat with those folks. But let's do the rest of session end. At the end of each session, mark one free experience. That is not improvement, it's experience. You don't have to adjust any of the ticks anywhere else. But you get to add one more experience, which could possibly roll you over if you have two others.
You can just mark any XP. I'll just mark my aggro then, because I'm very unlikely to use this anytime soon.
Makes sense. That was a good call.
Is that how it works?
Well, there's nowhere else to mark a free XP, so I would imagine that's how I was interpreting it. And on the end of the section, mark one free experience. So
yeah,
you have to mark it against a move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, fair. I mean, if there's another way to interpret it, let me know.
They've got so many different names for things, but yeah, going literally, that would be what it is. You're marking some XP somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start with Jan. Who knows you better?
Ariel does.
Okay. So Ariel, you get to mark +1 HX with Screw Loose,
which will do a rollover, which puts me back to 1 and gives me an improvement.
Okay. So I have added into the XP thing the rolling over HX. Whenever your HX, and this is, I wanted to try it. It's the official rules now for the uploaded or recently updated burned over rules. Rolling over HX. When your HX with someone reaches +4, either during a session or a session's in, 3 things happen. First, reset it to HX +1. Next, mark 1 experience.
Experience or improvement?
It literally says experience.
So you mark somewhere up on your sheet that would be an experience? Or should there be some free floating XPs around?
I am going to say for now, and think about it during the next week, you just mark one of the free floating XP somewhere.
Okay.
I would suggest the interrupt square, because
that's where I put my first one. Yeah. I put the other one on my harm.
But interrupt you can do 2 helps, and that still counts as you don't have to do an interrupt. You can do 2 helps.
Some of these questions are, I think, an artifact of the keeper, but some of these are an artifact of.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely a thing.
Somewhat incomplete iteration going on.
I'm definitely going to read through it again, because I think improvements in XP have flipped what they mean. And I don't see ticks on the new character sheet, so I'm super confused.
The old character sheets have ticks?
The old character sheets did have ticks.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly
new ones do as well, but they're smaller.
Do they?
Oh wait, nope. I'm dumb. I'm looking at the wrong sheets.
You're not dumb.
I'm making a mistake.
There is.
All right. Yeah. No, there's no more ticks. Huh.
Yeah. All of the XP ticks are next to improvement lines.
So something seems to have changed, and I don't see where it is changed in how it explains the rules. So
We can talk about this after. I
we certainly
suppose.
can. We certainly can.
All right. 'Cause
Wow,
that,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just mark a free experience, mark an experience for the rollover, and so now you choose one of the following to ask or tell them. What's a secret I've learned or realized about you? I'm more open to you than I was. You gain +1 HX with me on your sheet. Hey, I'm thinking of doing X. What's your take? What do you suggest? What's our next step? Let's make a plan together for what comes next for us.
Okay. So this is me telling something or doing something for Screw Loose in that sense. Are all of them giving, or is only the first one giving them an HX?
Only the second one, I'm more open to you than I was. You gain +1 HX with me on your sheet. The rest are just questions that they need to answer frankly.
I think I like that one. I think that Screw Loose sees how interested in I am in the things that he's doing, and that maybe this is a bit more of a personal us together moment where I get the impression Screw Loose has kind of had this admiration from afar. So seeing that Ariel is there for them.
Nice. So you're giving the +1 HX.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Dex, who knows you better?
It's between Ariel and Screw Loose, basically.
Sadly.
Neither will result in a rollover. I'm going to give it to Ariel.
All right, thank you.
Cool. And then Ariel, who knows you better?
I think it's probably Screw Loose. Honestly, I think that we had, a pretty in-depth scene. I know I've given you one already, but
that's
does
totally
that
fair.
seem to make sense? I mean, it
Yeah.
does to me.
It works for me, and also my HX were all hilariously low. So now I've finally brought them all above 0.
Beefing them up.
I think we may have figured out why it says take free XP, take an XP for the scavenge thing, because getting XP seems to be extremely limited now.
I have a thought on that. Again, we'll hit it.
Yep. Cool. So we've worked through all of the session end experience questions, and that's good. So yeah, let's just roll through if you guys are okay with doing some stars and wishes.
Sure.
Let's hit it. So we'll start with wishes so we can end with stars. Who'd like to go first for wishes?
I'll go just because I don't have an enormous amount of wishes. I really want to see. I thought we saw it in this one, but I really want to see big old cool race fighty stuff. I'm all about seeing the race be violent and horrible and cool.
Seat gripping action.
Good. We will definitely have more of that. I like it. Tyler, thank you so much. Any others? Tyler froze. I think.
No.
Nope. No more? Okay, cool. There, you're back. Awesome. Who'd like to go next for wishes?
I wish to have drawing things. Sorry. I wish to have some scenes with whatever.
Okay.
Probably be some opportunities next session. What with the pit stop?
Yep.
Exactly. But that was the thing where I was like, that's I think the only one I haven't had a meaningful interaction again. Like,
okay. Cool. Thank you, Jan. Jen, what about you? What wishes do you have?
Let's see. Definitely want more interactions with Ariel. and very interested to see how the race goes. I'm invested, man. I'm here.
Good.
Other wishes. Nothing jumps to mind that's really applicable to this discussion. Like,
Okay.
nothing is it. The wishes are outside of this table, so to speak.
Fair enough. All right, let's circle back around. Jen, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars.
All right, cool. Stars. I love Ariel's gambling scheming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was very plot thickens, stakes, interesting. And it's very cool to see her apply the different areas of leverage that she has on the situation through her followers and her own conniving and performances. So that's pretty cool. Loved seeing Screwloose's goofy, completely plain-faced infatuation with Ariel. That was just, charming, and oh, yep, there he goes. There it is. So that was quite fun. I liked the CB radio call repair kerfluffle. That seemed very frantic and in character and fun. I like that the racers in the electric circuit are relatively defined. And then, of course, there's the red-shirted chum of faceless racers, and we never learn their names. And, they live or die. We don't care. They're not winning. They're not interesting.
Racers, yes.
They are there to fill out the space so that we're like, wait a minute, this is a race with 4 people in it? No, it isn't, but really it is.
I take my cues from the Death Race movies. By taking cues, I mean, fair. I've watched it a few times now over the last couple weeks.
Yep, and I love the nasty as hell structure of the race.
Yes, thanks to Alex for that. Big stars for Alex for, hey, let's make it an 8, because I just had a ring, and that's so much better. I love the nastiness.
Yeah. That way we get to go through the Big Top twice. Perfect. And that just seems entirely like something the Big Top would arrange for.
Of course. It's a great idea. That's why I'm super happy that I said to you guys, is this good or could it be bettered? And it was bettered.
And then punched it up. Yeah, and I liked that people were, dropping problems on my doorstep.
Good. Thank you, Jen. Jan, what about you? Any stars?
Absolutely. First of all, star to Tyler for calling for that interaction between Screwloose and Ariel. That was I was hoping for that as well, and yeah, perfect. I still really like the interaction, like the dynamics between Dex and Screwloose. I think they make a cool team. And now it was fun to watch the Racers, but I think most excited above everything about lasers, big lasers. And Screwloose will definitely, he can't really leave his post right now, but he will want to get in on that.
Nice. I am into it. Thank you so much. Jan, Tyler.
Star on you being so open to the suggestion of a change. That's a really, not every GM will do it. That was very good of you. And it really did. I do think it improved, and you were so open for that. And that's really awesome. Dex and Screwloose together make me very happy. I thought that was fun, but I thought it was super cool to see Dex go and be brave. This is I'm going out there. The interaction with Laser Guy was intense and cool. I just thought that was it was neat to see Dex in that really strong viewpoint. That was really nice.
Yeah, like Dex when she's doing the hardcore medicining is very different in effect from Dex who's flouncing around Remedy doing people's hair.
It was a distinction we needed to see, and it was done just perfect. So it was very, very nice. I liked Screw Loose throughout this whole thing. I love the radio stuff back into the whirligig. I liked our chance to interact. I love hearing Jan talk for Screw Loose. I just think there's something so sweet and interesting about the character. And for some reason, well, it's probably because you're a good role player, but it is every interaction always is so different and cool. I liked when you interacted with Alex. I liked when you interact with Dex. I thought it was good when you interacted with me, and all of them have different feels, and that's really putting depth into a character. That's pretty cool. And I think that Alex and Sabine, really interesting on the race stuff, to the getting started, having adversity at the beginning. I like the kind of teamwork between them. Thought that was super cool. Cannot wait to see the destructive racing that they do. I think that's going to be so much fun.
I agree. Thank you all so much for playing. This has been a pleasure. I really feel like this was a high mark. Like we had a few sessions of getting things in place. This electric circuit, which was 100% a suggestion by Alex, has really paid off. I'm very excited to see more. So we will see more next week. Thank you all for playing and for anybody watching.